Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Brianna, and today we are going to be going over all of the books that I want to read this fall. And there's a lot of them. I think there's like 30 to 40 books here, and there will definitely be more because there's a lot of new releases that I want to read this fall as well. So will I get through all of these? No, but I wish that I could. We have a bunch of different genres. Fantasy obviously is a lot of it. A little bit of romance, some maybe like magical realism or historical fiction. So hopefully this will give you some inspiration for your own fall TBR, put some new books on your radar that you might want to read soon, and hopefully your fall lasts longer than fall lasts here in Minnesota. Because really it's only like September that we get for nice fall weather, and then after that it's winter. But I just love fall. I'm a fall girly. Fall is my favorite reading season, even though it's short. And yeah, let's just get into the video and go over all of the books that I hope to read this fall. Starting in no particular order, I'm literally just gonna grab off of these piles that I have here. But first off, I have How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. I think this is supposed to be a horror, but kind of like humorous, if that makes sense. I've never read anything by Grady Hendrix, but I've heard that's what his writing is like. So maybe a little thriller, horror, humor novel. As a best-selling author, Grady Hendrix takes on the haunted house in a thrilling novel that explores the way your past and your family can haunt you like nothing else. I just think this sounds like a perfect book to read in October for spooky season. Next, I have Half a Soul. Now, I think this is like a Regency era fantasy or magical realism. The little blurb says, it's difficult to find a husband in Regency England when you're a young lady with only half a soul. I've heard really good things about this book, so I'm really excited. Another one that sounds really good for spooky season. Another author, it does have a little blurb and it says, whimsical but never frivolous, sweet but not sugary. I loved it, and I have seriously been searching for a book that has kind of like whimsical vibes, kind of Stephanie Garber vibes, so very hopeful for this. Next is a YA romance actually, and this is Maybe Meant to Be by K.L. Walther. Just look at this cover, so fall vibes obviously. And one of my favorite books is The Summer of Broken Rules by the same author. I have read another book by this author as well, and it wasn't really my favorite. I think I gave it around 3 stars, but I'm hoping this one's a little bit better. I did actually try and start it last fall. I read the first chapter and I just wasn't really feeling it at the time. So I am excited to give it another shot this fall. Like I said, this is a YA romance. I'm pretty sure it takes place at a college. Like, it's the first year of college for the main characters in the book. And that's all I know. Another book that I am very excited to read this fall. I don't know why I'm saying that about every book. Like, that's pretty self-explanatory. I'll stop saying I'm excited for every single one of these, because obviously I'm excited. Otherwise I wouldn't be showing them in this video. Anywho's, you might have seen this in, I think, my most recent book haul video. This is The Late Night Witches by Aurelie Wallace. And yeah, this is a witchy romance book. Says a warm and funny novel about family, love lost and found, discovering who you are, and how difficult it is to slay a vampire. And then I remember in the book haul video, there was like an author's note that basically was talking about motherhood and that aspect in the novel, and that got me really excited because I was like, oh, it sounds like it's gonna be a heartwarming read as well as like a rom-com, and I always love when there is emotional depth in a rom-com or romance of any sort. Another one that was in one of my recent book haul videos is A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping, and this is by the same author as The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, which I know is like a very popular witchy romance. I've never read it. Maybe if I like this one, I'll read that one as well, but this cover is so freaking cute. I love the colors and just the whimsical vibes that we get from it. Yeah, it literally says a whimsical and heartwarming novel about a witch who has a second chance to get her magical powers and her life back on track. So there you go. This one, I am like so excited for all of these, like I said, but this one I've been very excited since I got it in June or July, I want to say. But I've just been trying to wait very patiently to read it until we get to October and I read more like witchy books. So keep your eyes peeled for a witchy reading vlog coming up This one, Love at First Sighting by Mallory Marlowe. This is a paranormal romance. And this is actually the same author as Love and Other Conspiracies, which I read in a fall reading vlog last year. I actually loved that book. Again, I thought it was just gonna be like a funny paranormal rom-com, but there was actually a lot of depth to it, so I ended up loving it. So I have very, very high hopes for this one because I know I like the author's writing style, and I know that she can deliver depth as well as funny romance vibes. This one obviously has to do with aliens. It says, a chance at love might not be out of this world in this astronomically charming romantic comedy. The next few books I'm going to show you, you're probably like, that doesn't really give fall vibes. Let me explain myself. Wild and Wrangled by Lila Sage. This is the last book in the Rebel Blue Ranch series, which I have come to adore. I know this book came out, I want to say in like March or April. It's a second chance romance. The female main character is a single mom, and then he has been pining after her for years, and I don't know why, but this book just gives me September vibes. I don't know if it's just like the colors going on or what, but I was like, I'm saving this to read in September, even though again I've had it for a few months. I'm just like, no, this is giving me fall vibes for some reason. I have no idea what time of year it takes place or if it's like over the duration of several months, so I don't know. That's just my brain for you, okay? And then this one, The Love of My Afterlife. Again, you're probably like, how does this give you fall vibes? Well, it's a magical realism rom-com, and magical realism just gives me fall vibes because magic is in the air during fall. Like, even though this looks like a fun summary book, maybe it is a fun summary book, I just love the magical realism aspect, and I wanted to save that for fall time. One is about a recently deceased woman who meets the one in the afterlife waiting room, scoring a second chance at life and love if she can find him on Earth before 10 days are up. Sounds super fun. And Pumpkin has decided to join us, I guess. It's thundering outside, and she is severely afraid of storms, so she's probably gonna be hanging out the rest of this video. This is where Pumpkin has just been hanging out during the video, in this little makeshift bed, which is literally just a cardboard box with a blanket in it because my cats refuse to sleep in actual cat beds. Hi, baby. Hi. Another kind of paranormal romance, we have The Fake Mate by Lana Ferguson. I have read one book by Lana Ferguson, I'm pretty sure, and I know she has a few other like paranormal romances than this one. I think, what is it called? The one about the Loch Ness Monster she has now too. But yeah, I think this is just supposed to be like a steamy romance with werewolves. Two wolf shifters agree to be fake mates, but unexpectedly find something real in this steamy paranormal romantic comedy. Yeah, I know this one's been out for a while and I've heard good things about it. Next, another one that you might have seen in my most recent book haul video is Endless Anger by Sav R. Miller. Now this one I don't think is really like magical realism or anything. I think it's just more so a darker romance, and I don't read dark romance like at all, usually maybe once in a blue moon, but I just think dark romance makes sense to read in the fall time. So yeah, that's my explanation for this one. Next we have The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna, and this one actually takes place in Alaska, so maybe it would make more sense to read in the winter time, but this cover is just really giving me fall vibes with the colors and everything. And I love a good Kristen Hanna book. Like, you could read this during any season and bawl your eyes out. Like, that's what Kristen Hanna books are for. It's a historical fiction that will have you sobbing. Then we have The World's Greatest Detective and Her Just Okay Assistant. This is supposed to be like a cozy mystery where the lead detective is a boomer and then her assistant is Gen Z, so they're obviously very different with the generational gap there and just their ideas and morals and all that. So I just think this would be great to cozy up with on a rainy day like today. The Women in the Wallpaper. This is another historical fiction, I think, but it does have some like fantasy or magical realism aspects to it. Also maybe like thriller aspects to it. I don't know, I had this one in one of my book hauls a while back and it just sounded very, very intriguing to me. I think there's two sisters and one of the sisters marries a man who's like kind of sketchy, and she notices that his wallpaper is kind of given some weird vibes, like there's women or something trapped in the wallpaper. So yeah, definitely something fishy going on there. Once again, one I feel like is perfect to cozy up with, and that'll keep me on the edge of my seat. And I'm not even joking, I think I have like 20 to 30 books now that are all fantasy. So Pumpkin, hi baby, are you scared? Need a water break. The Lore of the Wilds, I think this is a romantasy, like love triangle romantasy. I think it's supposed to be kind of cozy and whimsical. It says a library with a deadly enchantment, a fae lord who wants in, a human woman willing to risk it all for a taste of power. And obviously I feel like the cover is self-explanatory that it gives me fall vibes. Soul Gazer, this is another, why am I blanking on the word, romantasy. I love this cover so much. It's very simple, but it's so beautiful and exquisite. This is a high-stakes romantic adventure steeped in magic. Also, you guys have probably noticed I'm not giving like too many details about these books, and that is because I like to go into my books more blindly. I feel like the synopsis on the back of books these days just gives away way too much of the plot. So I like to go in a little bit blindly, but I still obviously want to give you guys like a glimpse. So I don't say too much, but still a little bit, if that makes sense. Next we have The Curse of Soulwalker by Sharon Elwood. I actually got this from the Nerd Fam last fall and didn't get to reading it, but this one sounds really, really interesting. I think it's more so like a high fantasy because the main character, I'm pretty sure it's the main character, is the commander of this like undead army. Like, doesn't that just sound so cool? And I think there's a sorcerer or something as well. A sorcerer to do something with the curse that's in this book. I don't know, I just think anything like this also gives me spooky season vibes. Realm of Thieves by Karina Halley. I actually have wanted to read this one like all summer long, but now that summer is basically over, I was like, well, it's gonna have to be a fall read, but it's very fitting to be a fall read because this is a romantasy with dragons in it. I think it's like a rivals to lovers where they are thieves. Obviously, as the title would say. Two thieves vie for dominance in the illegal dragon egg trade, putting both their lives and their hearts on the line in this scorching romantasy. I've never read anything else by Karina Halley, but I'm pretty sure she makes her books pretty spicy, so. A Far Better Thing by H.G. Perry. This is actually going to be my September book club that I'm going to read with my husband. This is like a fantasy retelling of A Tale of Two Cities, which is my favorite classic book. Well, one of my favorites. I love Tale of Two Cities and Count of Monte Cristo. So this is a retelling of A Tale of Two Cities, but it has fae and magic, obviously. So I think this will be very, very interesting to see if I like it, since I love A Tale of Two Cities. And then I have If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. I know, I'm late to the game on this one. It's been out for so long, in fact, that this is a new cover for it, and it also has cute little sprayed edges. Actually, when we were at Barnes & Noble and bought this, they had like the just standard or like regular black cover with the flowers, I think it is, and this one, but my husband picked out this one because this is going to be our October book club read. So this is a mystery thriller. There is a blurb on the back and it says, "This is a rare and extraordinary novel, a vivid rendering of the closed world of a conservatory education, a tender and harrowing exploration of friendship, and a genuinely breathtaking literary thriller." Okay. Like, I was already excited for it, but I feel like that blurb has me even more excited. Also, I just read a kind of like retelling of Romeo and Juliet, which is obviously Shakespeare, and this is also like Shakespearean college students, I'm pretty sure. They like study Shakespeare, so very cool. Pumpkin, what are you doing? Pumpkin, what are you doing over there, babe? Alright, next we have A Tribute of Fire by Soraya Wilson. This is another fantasy, and I think the whole premise of this one is that the main character that we follow is a princess. And in this world, they have what's called the tribute every year, or like the tribute game, where they basically have to sacrifice someone for this game. And I think the princess is the one that was like chosen to be the sacrifice. So she's trying to win this game, this tribute game, so she's not. Servant of the Earth by Sarah Hawley. This is the first book in what I'm pretty sure is going to be a series, and this cover is just beautiful. I love it so much. It says, in the underground Fey realm, only the strongest and most ruthless have power, but a young human woman forced into a life of servitude is about to change everything. 6 deadly trials, 0 room for error. I think this might be a romantasy as well, or have some romance in it. A Theory of Dreaming by Ava Reed. This is the second book in the Study in Drowning duology. I loved A Study in Drowning, so I am very, very excited to get this one read. Another one that was in my book haul video is The Ever King by L.J. Andrews, and this is a romantasy. She set him free only to steal his heart, because I think in this one there's like rival kingdoms, so one of the king's sons is like trapped, and then she lets him go free. I don't know. I've heard really, really good things about this book before, though. I think it was traditionally published now, but it's been out like independently published for a while. Ooh, this one I'm really excited for because I've had it for a while. For She Is Wrath by Emily Varga. It says, ignited by love, consumed by vengeance, unleashed by fury. And once again, this cover is just so stunning. But I think in this one, the female main character has been like wrongly imprisoned, and the boy that she once loved is responsible for getting her like arrested and imprisoned. This is a YA fantasy. I know I've been saying it forever, but I really want to read this Woven Kingdom trilogy, or no, it's not a trilogy, it's a full series, I'm pretty sure, by Tahara Mafi. So this is a romantasy series or fantasy romance series by her, rather than like the Shatter Me series is more dystopian. So this one says, prepare to be destroyed. This one will wrench at your heart and make it pound, and in the end it will leave you entirely speechless. And that is a quote from Stephanie Garber, and I was just saying how I love Stephanie Garber and her like whimsical vibes of her fantasies. So I've heard amazing things about this series, and I am seriously just so ready to like sit down and binge it. Blood and Moonlight by Erin Beatty. This cover, absolutely stunning. It says, when blood meets moonlight, Katrin discovers astonishing abilities that draw her into a mysterious stranger's hunt for a serial killer. This is, once again, a YA book. I think it's supposed to be a mixture of like fantasy, thriller, maybe some horror aspects in there. Beneath These Cursed Stars by Lexi Ryan. This is the same author as These Hollow Vows, and this is actually like a spin-off duology of the These Hollow Vows duology. I really enjoyed These Hollow Vows, and this duology follows the sister of the main character from These Hollow Vows. Also, Sarah J. Maas was recommending this author, so I'm pretty sure the next book in this duology is supposed to come out later this year, but I think there is going to be a love triangle, there is fae in this, another YA romantasy. And The Enchanted Greenhouse by Sarah Beth Durst. This is the same author as The Spell Shop, which is a super cozy fantasy, so this is going to be another like kind of whimsical cozy fantasy. Although this one I'm pretty sure takes place in the winter, I just think the reading vibes are going to be like cozy fall vibes, even if it takes place in the winter, if that makes sense. I just love this cover so much. It is so beautiful. They say don't judge books by their covers, but I usually do, because some book covers are just so pretty, I can't stay away. Given by Elena R. Gallia. Says, she's born to die, he lives to hunt. So in this one, this is another romantasy, and another one that like involves a sort of sacrifice. So in this world, Ren is the main character, and she has this mark on her forehead, and that mark is there to say that like she's the one to be given, to be sacrificed. but then her best friend ends up getting sacrificed instead, and now she's like on the run from the hunter. So I'm very intrigued by that. It sounds very, very interesting. This is Among the Burning Flowers, which is a prequel to The Priory of the Orange Tree, which is a series that I've been wanting to get into for a while now, but this prequel is getting released in September, and I definitely want to read this before I jump into The Priory of the Orange Tree. So dragon fantasy, what more can I say? This is like an early copy. I don't know what the actual cover is gonna look like. Oh, here we go. So that's the actual cover. The Atlas 6 by Olive Blake. I have had this one. I think my best friend got it for me for my birthday. I really like Olive Blake's writing style. Like, One for My Enemy is one of my favorite books, and this is a fantasy, but like dark academia, I want to say. The Atlas 6 is like a secret society or something, I want to say. It says secrets, betrayal, seduction, power. Welcome to the Alexandrian Society. So the Alexandrian Society is the name of the secret society, but there's like 6 new recruits to the secret society. I have no idea what's gonna happen in this. I'm pretty sure this is a trilogy. Correct me if I'm wrong there. I'm like intimidated by this one, but I'm still excited to get to it. I feel like I've just been putting it off because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm intimidated by this. The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. This is Rachel Gillig's newest like dark gothic fantasy. She's the author of One Dark Window. I have heard incredible things about this so far. Like, so many of my book friends online have given this 5 stars, so I'm just so excited. It's a gothic, miscloaked tale of a young prophetess who is forced on an impossible quest with the one knight whose future she cannot see. That alone has me so intrigued. I want to pick this one up so soon. Next we have Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. Now, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue is one of my favorite books of all time, and this is like a vampire fantasy. It says this is a story about hunger, love, and rage. It's a story about life, how it ends, and how it starts. Like, I have seriously been waiting to read this since it was announced last year, I'm pretty sure, and I'm like, I just have to save it for the fall time, even though it came out a month or 2 ago at this point. I'm like, I just need to save it for the fall, because it's vampires. You need to save that for the fall time. House of Blight. This is a fantasy. I think it might have some romance in it too, where I'm pretty sure it's like rival houses, and they have to end up working together because of a curse that is currently happening. Because Adira Brilwin has a secret. Withholding her magic will save her life. Using her magic could save the world. There are some blurbs on the back here, and one of them says, the perfect mixture of magic, romance, and darkness. This is a romantasy every reader needs on their shelves. Okay. Throne of the Fallen by Carrie Maniscalco. I've had this one for about a year after I finished the Kingdom of the Wicked series, because this is kind of like a spin-off series of that, but this is adult rather than young adult like the other series. And I think each book is supposed to follow one of the princes of hell. I've heard these books are amazing, and I'm pretty sure Sarah Caroli has a blurb on like the newest print editions of this book. She loved it so much, and yeah. Spells for Forgetting by Adrienne Young. I was so excited when I got this about a year ago because The Unmaking of June Farrow is one of my favorite books ever, and that is by the same author. But then I read another book by her earlier this year and did not like it whatsoever. Like, I gave it a 1-star rating. So I was really excited when I bought this, but now I'm kind of scared because I'm like, what if I don't like it as much? But this one is a deeply atmospheric story about ancestral magic, an unsolved murder, and a second chance at true love, which honestly sounds like the same kind of premise as An Unmaking of June Farrow, so I have higher hopes for this one. 5 Broken Blades. I have had this one on my TBR for so long, you guys. Like, it's even got the pretty sprayed edges because I bought it right when it came out and have not read it yet. This is another romantasy. I don't know what it's about whatsoever. It just says, let the best liar win on the back, so that's all I'm really going off of here is I loved the way that it looked, so I bought it. See, I'm judging books by their cover, which I'm not saying is like a good thing to do. I'm just admitting that I do it. You guys, we got to the last book of the pile. It is The Courting of Bristol Keats by Mary E. Pearson. Again, I feel like this one might have been a better book for summer because I think it just has to do with like water, the ocean, the sea, whatever. But it's so cute, and fantasy just gives me fall vibes. Okay, what can I say? Summer is romance. So now that it's fall, it's fantasy fall. There are dangerous fae, dark secrets, and addictive romance in this book. So those are not all of the books that I want to read this fall, but a lot of books that I want to read this fall. And disclaimer, once again, I will not be getting through all of these at all because I know it is way too many. Comment your thoughts on any of these books if you've read them. Also comment any other videos you'd like to see from me in the future. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and please subscribe to my channel down below. And hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Bye!